Want to go to the movies, folks?
I love going to the movies with you.
I love the first Robocop. That was 25 years ago, and it was one of those movies that it sort of like predicted what might be out in the future. So now they make Robocop 25 years later, and some of that stuff has actually arrived in our present. So it's sort of cool. Let's take a look at the movie and we'll see what I'm talking about.
They want a product with a conscience. Something that knows what it feels like to be human.
Give your mom a kiss.
My baby.
Too slow, boy. We're gonna put a man inside a machine.
Time to wake him up.
Make him more tactical. Let's go with black.
Quality Control, EM 208 versus Tin Man.
Wow.
We are going to make a lot of money.
Okay, we see Michael Keaton in there. Is he a good guy or a bad guy? He runs a company that helps make Robocop, and he wants to change the entire police force into like a robo kind of outfit, but Robocop is part man, part machine. Gary Oldman is the doctor, the scientist. Is he a mad scientist? Who knows what he is, but we know that Joel Kinnaman is the guy who plays Robocop, and he does a pretty nice job with this thing, and when he walks, he's going, you know, and all that quick kind of moves and all this kind of stuff, but he said when he was wearing the suit, well, it wasn't exactly comfortable, I don't think. Check it out.
I think so.
We're shooting in Toronto, and it was in the middle of the summer, and it was a boiling hot summer.
Oh.
And that suit does not make it better. I actually, the first week of shooting, I lost 20 pounds, just dripping, sweating. So my idea was to rent this suit out to fighters that are cutting weight before a fight.
Yeah, wrestlers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, a little side gig.
That'd be a great thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I dig this relationship between you and Gary Oldman's character.
Yeah.
That is really sort of the heart of it, don't you think?
It is. For me, that was the core of the movie. It's a relationship that evolves to. It starts out as some kind of Dr. Frankenstein and his monster, and then it evolves into almost a father-son relationship.
Yeah, he cares, man.
Yeah.
It really shows. It's interesting, too, when you see the movie, the waist on Robocop is about, it looks like one of those Victorian women wearing the corset.
Like they put a corset on him for a while just to suck him in.
So skinny. Abby Cornish plays his wife, and of course she's shocked when she sees what he looks like after the accident. You know, she's got a robot in the house. But we talked about a lot of things about the movie, but you see Gary Oldman there, and Gary Oldman's one of those guys that, you know, it's come to the point where everybody loves working with this guy. You know, he's a serious actor, but he's a lot of fun, and that's what we talked about, Abby and myself. How much fun was it to work with Gary Oldman?
The most fun. Gary's in my list of some of the most favorite people I've ever worked with. You know, my knees shook when I met Gary. I couldn't stop calling him sir. I felt honored to be in his presence. I was lucky enough that during the making of the film, they wrote a scene for us, because originally Robocop was pitched, you know, as like a 4 or 5 scener. And because I didn't read a script, I signed on relatively blindly, but because I knew the company, the recipe for this film was right. You know, and it's a nostalgic film for me. I grew up with it. And so, you know, halfway through the shoot to get a scene with Gary Oldman, I remember I called Laz. I was like, Michael Lazo, my manager, I was like, I can't believe I've got a scene with Gary Oldman. This is the coolest thing in the world. Yeah. And so for me, this film was not only a great experience, but just to have it evolve along the way and just be in such great company was really lovely.
She's a very interesting lady. She's from Australia, and she's one of those people, she's a deep thinker. You can tell, I mean, everything she tells you is sort of like fresh, you know? And when she talks to you, she's got her eyes right in your eyes. She's like, she's locked on you, man.
Yeah,
she's like,
that would be hard to look at. I'm sure it was hard for you to have to.
Oh, yeah. I really like this lady. I walked out of the room, I was telling my friends who also do what I do, I go like, you're going to like this lady. She's going to be around for a while. She's really good.
She looks it. She looks it. I'm sure she's great in that movie, too.
Yeah, she's tough. Okay, we're talking about Gary Oldman here. So Gary Oldman, you know, I get a chance to talk to him, too. Well, what are you talking about? You got all these different movies done. He's done True Romance. He played like a drug dealer in that. He was crazy. The Professional. He was the cop that was chasing down the little girl who was the assassin. He was in the Dark Man trilogy. He's been in Harry Potter. He's been in everything. So I asked him finally, I said, well, you know, look back at your career, over 50 movies, which one do you like the best?
I've been lucky because I've made some great movies and I've worked with some great directors. Alfonso Cuarón and, of course, Jose and Coppola. Chris Nolan. I think the one that jumps out at me the most is JFK.
Wow. Oswald. We have applause in the room here.
Yeah, no, JFK was a very unusual experience because there wasn't a great deal of it. There wasn't a great deal of Oswald on the page.
Yeah.
So they gave me some money and some airline tickets, and Oliver said go to New Orleans and Dallas and meet some people and kind of find out who this guy was. So I was an investigator.
Yeah.
And a journalist almost, rather than just a sort of an actor who turns up and speaks the lines. You know what I mean? So that was a particularly fond memory of that time.
Terrific. Always love talking to you.
All right, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
I like that guy. He's good.
I like him
He's a good
too.
guy. And I want to thank our director too, John Ackerman, who helps bring those pieces to life. I mean, when you see all those pictures of how he looked in those different roles, I mean, it really brings something special to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why we love John. He's talented like
I
that.
tell you, as Oswald, man, he looked great, and what a great performance. He's always good. So check it out, Robocop.